and welcome to Nintendo Nostalgia, episode 45. I'm your host, Ryan Black, and I am joined by my co-host, Jacob Rush, and we are back and we are playing with power. Jacob, how you doing this week?
Man, you know what? It's kind of weird because we're recording on a new night. We're trying to record on Mondays now just because of my job, and so it feels a little weird. I won't lie. It's like we don't have that day into the week already to like have more news, I guess. So I don't know. I mean, I'm doing great. It's just this is new, I guess. So I'm glad to be here. I had a cold. It's weird. Like I'm getting sick every week, man. Like 2 weeks ago, we recorded and we were up late and I got sick on that night. That next day I got really sick, got a headache and felt terrible. And I got this massive sore throat in the back of my tongue and my throat. And it like really hurt to swallow. And then I finally got better like Tuesday of last week. And then we recorded. We were up super late. And then I went to bed. And that next morning I woke up and I had a scratchy throat and I had been blowing my nose all week. So
bummer.
Today, I've blown my nose a little bit. My sore throat's basically gone. I've had a cough I had a cough as up till yesterday. I don't really think I've coughed much today. So I'm feeling better. I mean, I'm doing well in general. So I can't complain too much. How about yourself?
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling you on the sick front. I was sick today. I was homesick from work. And I don't know, last night I worked GameStop all 3 days, this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I don't know, like Sunday night, I was just really, really dragging. I felt like a lot of sinus pressure. I just felt really bad. And I was working, I guess the AC is out in GameStop in the mall there. And so it just got really hot and I was not feeling it. And so I came home, I had some chamomile tea, and I just went to bed. And I woke up this morning, I had to get up early, and I realized I just wasn't feeling it. So I called into work, and I let them know last night that I may not have been feeling the best. I may need someone to cover for me. So
yeah,
it wasn't a sudden thing or anything, but yeah, they were able to cover my shift, and I was able to recover for the most part. It still feels a bit in my head, but just a lot of sinus pressure and really bad headache. Got some Tylenol in my system right now. So,
it really sucks. Like sometimes I'm like, yeah, it's great that I can call off and not going to work when I'm sick. But really, it's because I'm thinking in my head like I'll recover and just play some video games. But honestly, like when I feel like crap, like I can't even focus on a game. Like I just feel miserable and like I'll try to play, but I'm like struggling to play because I'm doing really bad. Like there's no way I can play Splatoon 2 and have a massive headache that I'm trying to recover from or the flu or something like that,
Yeah. In between napping, I was watching season 6 of Once Upon a Time. They added that to Netflix. So I was watching that, just kind of passing the time when I was awake, when I wasn't snoozing.
I used to like that show. I watched like first. I stopped after they like went to Oz. After they went to Oz, we just got tired of it.
They got to my favorite Disney series, and I was happy about that with Hercules. So I just kind of stuck with it from there. Just kept on watching. So
I didn't know Hercules was your favorite series. That's weird.
That's my favorite Disney movie. I've always liked the Greek gods and stuff, and so like that was like right up my alley when I saw that. I saw it in theaters as a kid, of course.
Dude, Becca and I just watched it for the first time ever last week.
That's crazy.
First time ever. Like I'd only seen bits and pieces and commercials, but first time through last week. I was on. It's on Hulu, I think. So
Jeepers, mister.
That's funny. Yeah, cool, man. So that's me, dude. So
yeah. So let's get into the news.
Let's do it.
Jacob, what do you got for us this week?
Okay, well, guys, there's not tons of news, I guess, that's important on my radar. Besides a few things here, but what I'm going to start us off with is tomorrow is Tuesday. This is Monday night. So by the time you all hear this on Thursday, the game will already have been out for about 3 days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, yeah. I'm picking up Mario Rabbids. I'm really, really excited about this. I have the bundle. pre-ordered. I pre-ordered it back right after E3. It's a big purchase for me, and I'm excited because like I got Mario Kart 8. I decided to get it on a whim, trade in Pokemon games. And then I decided to go back when Splatoon 2 came out. I was going to wait till Christmas time and get Splatoon 2. But then all of a sudden I was like, I had Brad over. I was like, man, I want something fun for us to really do and really show off the Switch to him because he doesn't have one yet. So I decided to trade in some more games, and I bought Splatoon 2. But Mario Rabbids, since Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Rabbids is like the first game like that I've wanted for the Switch that's like legit like hype. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It does help that it has one of your favorite composers in it.
Oh my gosh. It's essentially it's a rare game. I mean, it essentially is an old school rare game for today for Nintendo, just made by Ubisoft. And having Grant do it and having it's the humor in the game you see. I'm so excited to play this game. I mean, poor Ukulele, like they've had my hype button since golly gee, since they first came out with the announcement about it. And now that we've had more drama with it and it getting delayed on the Switch, and we're freaking about a week away from September, and we still have like half a week away. I think it's like maybe a week and a half. I don't know. We don't know when Ukulele's coming out. It's September. It's basically September, and we have no freaking clue. And like, I've been very patient, and I've been very supportive of Platonic and Ukulele, and I'm still going to get the game. But I mean, come on, what are they going to? Who announces a game and says it's like when they announce it and say, oh, it's going to be out the end of September? Like, say they come out next week. There's no way. I cannot see them saying it's coming out in the end of September. Like, if they know, doesn't it take like a little while for a game to come out and like actually get out? And well, I'll take it back. Maybe if it's only going to be released in stores. If they only do digital, which I'll be ticked off because I want everyone else got a physical version and I'm a physical collector. If it's only digital, I could see it coming out, like a week after they announce the official release date. But I don't know, man. Some people are saying they really think they just feel like it's not going to come out until next year. And I didn't believe it when they said it was going to be delayed, but
it never fails, man. I can always get you on a rant about Ukulele.
Oh, yeah. You really can.
So let's dial it back a bit. Are you going to purchase the season pass for Mario plus Rabbids?
Yes.
It's only $10. So, I mean. Yes. So
hands down.
You're that person that's not quite like against getting a season pass or something.
No. If it's a game I really want, as long as they're not doing something stupid, as in like something that easily should be in the game, I guess, if it's really worth your while, I'll do it, but I don't want little things that should be day and date. If I feel like it legitimately was, a thought that came after and they're still working on it, like Zelda is, they're still working on story mode right now that's coming out this winter, I'm fine with that.
All right. So now to tag on to your Ukulele conversation, Nintendo is doing a Nindy Direct showcase tomorrow.
Yeah.
The 30th.
Oh, wait, Wednesday, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, tomorrow's 29th.
Sorry, man. I'm out of it with the sickness.
It's Monday, dude. We usually record on Tuesdays. It's fine.
Yeah, it's coming out Wednesday. It's going to be, well, you guys are already going to be hearing this by the time you hear the podcast. But it'll be it'll be the 1 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll definitely be tuned in for that.
Me too. I'll be on break. Fine. I'll be on break from work. So like we get like a 3-4 hour gap in the middle of the day on Monday and Wednesday. So that's perfect.
Cool. Hopefully we'll hear some stuff about Ukulele. Fingers crossed on that. I'd love to hear some more on that Pocket Rumble. We heard a little bit earlier in the week, someone mentioned something about it, or last week. I was like, yes, finally, some mention of Pocket Rumble. Keep it coming. I cannot wait to play this game.
Honestly, like, I only care about ukulele. That's the only thing I want to hear about. And if I don't hear about ukulele, oh my gosh. You'll hear another rant next week.
I think we'll probably see some things. They announced Fee is coming to the Switch, so we might see some of that. We might see some unannounced titles. We may get an actual release date for Rocket League, hopefully. I know a lot of people are hoping for that. That's kind of on my list too, of course. That's a must buy. I'm really optimistic about what we're about to see. I'm hoping we see some stuff we didn't see coming. Some brand new games, or maybe some timed exclusives like they announced for the last one. So,
you know what? I want to. I agree with you all on all that, and I just, like I said, mainly I care about ukulele. I'm sure we'll get some sweet gems we didn't expect, and there'll be some cool clarification. Probably by the time everyone's hearing this, everyone will be laughing at my ukulele rant because it'll probably. I have a hunch. I'll be very shocked if they do not give us a release date for ukulele on this.
You're chomping at the bit, man. You're ready.
Dude, I've been ready since they announced it. I'm so sick of having to ignore gameplay footage, ignore images online of bosses and just stuff in the game. It's like, golly, man, I'm so done with that. Like, I just want to play it. I've already listened to the soundtrack more than I have any other game that I've never listened to a soundtrack to a game that I don't own so much. So,
yeah.
And I love it. And what I'm scared of is that Mario Rabbids, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's going to basically suck all that excitement that I've had for ukulele out and just use it up on that game, because again, it has the humor like Rare. It has the music is Grant Kirkhope in both games, the main music. And there's a song that's exactly almost identical how it starts out on ukulele and Mario Rabbids. Almost identical. And in that bundle too that I pick up tomorrow, it's going to have the CD, a giant rabbit statue. I think it has some cards or something like that, and the game, of course. But that I cannot wait to get that CD on my laptop, transferred over to my iPod. Mm-hmm. It's going to be Radical Rex. I am so excited for that.
I think this game will test your abilities too, just to see how you like an XCOM type game with that strategy. See how you do with that. It's kind of a genre that you're not used to, so I'm kind of curious to see.
I've been hearing that it's pretty tough. Like they said that it's really insanely hard. The game gets very tough, and I'm excited about that. I'm excited to play a Mario game that's more challenging than bop him on the head 3 times.
Yeah, good.
So I'm looking forward to it. There you go, Kyle, expanding my gaming knowledge. Keep telling me to branch out.
Speaking of Kyle telling you to branch out, I heard you played a game that you finally started after Kyle had been bugging you. So now's the perfect time to get into what we've been playing. Jacob, take it away.
Yeah, I finally decided to give up on my dream to play Donkey Kong Country, and then Donkey Kong Land, Donkey Kong Country 2, and Donkey Kong Land 2, and then Donkey Kong Country 3, and Donkey Kong Land 3. I was going to play them all in chronological order. And I decided to said, what the heck? I'm not doing anything today. I don't have anything on the schedule. Let's just start it. And I started Donkey Kong Country 3 because I bought it after Christmas last year. And with a bunch of money I had gotten for virtual console stuff, eShop, and along with all the other Donkey Kong games. And I've been playing it. I'm in World 3. And it's fun. I mean, I don't. It's a kind of a shame that I just now started it because I'm enjoying playing it because it's all new adventures and new levels and new obstacles for me to play through. And but Mario Rabbids is coming, so I'll probably put it down for a little bit. Mm-hmm. But no, I'm really excited about what I've been playing with it. For all of you that don't know, I love Donkey Kong Country so much, but Donkey Kong Country 3 is really the only game I've never beaten it. I've never played it. I've only played like the first world or two multiple times because I have the SNES cartridge that I bought, and I don't know. At the time when I got it last year, I had played so much Donkey Kong all last year. By the time I got to Donkey Kong Country 3, because I was trying to beat them in, 1, 2, 3, I kind of was like, let's give Donkey Kong a break, and because by the time I got to that point, it was almost Christmas time. The NES Classic I was expecting to get, and other games we got, and I just put Donkey Kong on hold. But then I was like, oh, I have the smartest idea ever. Let's buy out the Donkey Kong games again and play them from country to land in order. And I'm in the middle of Donkey Kong Country 2 and Land 2, but they're essentially the same game, and hadn't touched 3 yet. But I started it. I'm on World 3 now. And I like it a lot. It's fun. I've been playing, and I played a little bit of Splatoon. Splatoon's really kind of slowed down for me. The initial hype on it. Truth be told, guys, I'm not really a huge online gamer. Like, I enjoy it now, especially how easy or a lot easier it is for Nintendo Switch fans. But I really like to play games, a one-player campaign. I really like that. That's why I like games like Mario Odyssey coming out and the new Mario Rabbids game and Ukulele, Banjo, Zelda, Metroid. I love the one-player experience. I love diving in the world myself and just going,
Yeah.
I prefer that more than online gaming. That's why I'm not always in, like, when we have our community groups, races or Splatfest. Like, I'm not on. You don't see me very much. Occasionally, but.
We'll have to get you more involved, man. I know it's not your biggest thing, but, we like seeing you around and having you part of the community, of course, since you are a Nintendo Nostalgia host. So,
if we got a new Diddy Kong Racing, I would be all over that.
Yes, I think we all would be.
And if we got a good Smash Brothers game, I would be all over that.
Yep, I'm hoping we'll get one for Switch, but that's that's for the future, hopefully. So what I've been playing lately, I've been enjoying that Sonic Mania, and today I did play a little bit of it just because I know it's close to the end, so I finished that up. I was so happy to do that. I was on like the last stage, the last level. I knew I was close, so I beat that and had some fun going through that. And I wanted to start up a game again so I can collect everything. I kind of just did a quick tour through everything the first time through. Now I'm going to go through and try to catch all the secrets and try to catch all the emeralds and all that stuff. Try to master what this whole, like, chasing this UFO mini game or whatever it is to get the emeralds. So that's something I haven't quite got the grasp of yet. But other than that, I've not played a whole lot. I downloaded the Pokken Tournament demo. Haven't even played it yet. Like I said, I've been working all weekend though. So
you had it for Wii U, right? Pokken Tournament.
Yes, I only played it once.
Ooh, I got it.
The day I got it, I played it, and that was it.
I feel bad about it, honestly, because I got it. I wasn't expecting to get it, and then Becca surprised me with it. She bought it because I bought it for you and I, we exchanged birthday and Christmas gifts, and Traven and I, we always do that too. And I bought it for Traven for his birthday, and Becca came around and surprised me with it, and I was like, "This is awesome," And I tried to play it, and I had other games at the time I was playing too, and like it just didn't like. I'm not really good at the button masher fighting styles, so I didn't really like fall in love with the game. So it really kind of sat in the shelf, and I felt bad about it because then I traded it in.
There's a lot of depth to it.
Yeah,
I'm saying that only from that one day that I played. I was having fun playing. It was me and Robbie who were playing on it. I brought it up here to the attic, and we were playing. And then Nisa, I left for something, and Nisa got on and started playing. And Nisa picked breaks in and was just like spamming the fire attack and like beating Robbie like a lot. And so like I got in and I tried my luck out and just kept spamming that button, and I kept like losing too. And I'm like, well, this is dumb. Just if you just hit a button over and over and over again. I mean, of course, Nisa wasn't gonna let that like let up on that because that's the way to win, right?
Do you think? Are you like me? Are you like me and like old fighting games? Like, don't you think it was like cheating if you kept using the same move over and over and over again? I mean, it's not technically cheating, I guess. Like if it works, what works. But as a kid, man, I always kind of felt like that's cheating. You can't use the same move over and over and over again when you can't do anything. Like, I mean,
honestly,
that's a loser mentality, I guess. But
honestly, I've been known from time to time to do that spamming of something. Like in Tekken 3, I'd always spam Warong's Bird Hunter move, because I just got that down where I could just keep juggling over and over and over again. But I don't know. That was just kind of, I would try to mix it up, but that was kind of my go-to, and I'd use it a lot. And sometimes I'll find myself doing that before I've gotten really into the mechanics and depth and everything and really learned what's going on. Like, that's what I did with Smash Brothers when I was learning. It was like I just spam Fox's laser blast over and over and over again until I finally decided, okay, I'm going to start actually learning the controls and getting good with it. So
I suppose you can use it. I mean, there's strategy to it if you use, like with Link, I always use his bows. I use the boomerang. I use the bombs. Like, it's strategy if you know how to use it.
Yeah, I keep a constant flow of projectiles when it comes using Toon Link. So like I do get that. Like, but to use it with skill is a different thing than just to do it just to gain an advantage and just kind of just do this. It's a cheap experience, honestly. I have been known in the past to do that, but I will branch out from that once I'm finally comfortable with everything and do my own thing and learn the controls proper and what have you. So.
Okay. Yeah. I get you. Cool. Yeah, dude, I want to talk real quick just about, I want to take a moment to just highlight community, from Nintendo Nostalgia community to Life of Gaming podcast community to play some video games community. The Nintendo Guru, Sean Capri, We the Nerdy, everybody. The Warp Whistle guys. Like, I want to say thank you to all the listeners to our show, to everyone's show. We see that you comment and you participate in all the communities, and it's so exciting and encouraging to see. It's good for us, and I'm sure all the other guys from all the shows appreciate it. And I know we've started this, like, there's been like over the summer this indie podcasting have started where we're all in it. We're all in this together. We love to help each other out, have each other's guests on from each other's shows, and cross promote each other's stuff. And I think that's so awesome. We're a part of this indie podcasting community. We're on Day Space. A bunch of us have jumped on Day Space. Not everyone's on Day Space. Some of us have come on and it just wasn't working out and left. And I think that's fine. I think we're all in this together, and I don't think the biggest thing about it is we all need to remember that we're all friends in the end, and no matter who's doing what, we're all here for each other. And I was just kind of thinking about that today and how much I appreciate everybody. I've learned a lot from Sean and Bobby, and just like we owe a lot to them. Our show started because they reached out to us and listened to us and helped us get started. And, the Nintendo dads, they've listened to us and we've listened to them, and we've helped each other out, and just with all the other podcasts. And I'm thankful for everybody, and I'm thankful for what community is all about. Because in my opinion, in my mind, the community, Ryan, is with podcasting wise, is we all share a similar platform to so we all can just be part of this one larger community, but yet we all branch out and we all have our own small nooks. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's what do you call it? What was it? Let's kind of use it as like Smash Bros. 4, Smash Brawl. I'm sorry, not 4, 3, Smash Brawl. What was one player campaign called in that? What was that?
Subspace Emissary.
Subspace Emissary. It's like you had all these Nintendo franchises from their own worlds collide on in this one big universe, which wasn't, like real, it's not canon or anything, but it's this one big universe. And that's kind of how I see all of our indie podcasts. They all belong to their own franchises. They all have their own fan community and fan bases, and they can do their own thing, and that's okay. They all have their own game lines, and that's how our podcast shows are. You know, PSVG has a whole community that they have fans and a community that engages with them, and they play their own tournaments and stuff. But then we all have times where, say, like when the brand new Smash Bros. Comes out, guess what? We're all going to come together as an indie podcast, all the communities, whether you listen strictly to this one or that show, or you listen to us all. We all come together for an event, and we are all in it together. And I think that's really awesome. And I think it's awesome how we can all do our own separate things, and we all can come together and do things together too, you know, just sharing this world. That's just kind of been on my heart lately and on my mind. I know, Ryan, you weren't really into the podcasting community before even the show all got started, but I mean, heck, look at you now. You're a regular member.
I'm still kind of in the shadows as it comes to with the podcasting community. I haven't been on anybody else's shows, and I'm just getting started out. Like, I've actually got a show lined up with Sean this week. I'm going to be recording with him. So I'll be on his show, and that'll be my first attempt at being a guest on a show. And I came to Sean, I was like, hey, I want to talk with you, you know, just want to hang out. So I'm hoping this gets me into the community more, and just with the greater community of podcasting, you know, just I want to be a part of that. I want people to get to know me and just have a good time. I'm pretty busy, but I want to make that time for you guys, not just in our own podcasting group, but in other groups as well.
You know what? And like with all the podcasters and stuff, I heard PSVG say it last week. They talk about their own show, but like I legitimately, even not just the podcast, even the people who are regularly active in the communities, you know, if we engage and we talk and we build friendships up, you know, and like we don't even know each other all in person, but yeah, I feel connected to a lot of you guys in this community, closer than I do people in my own life, you know, people I see every day. And it's like, yeah, I may work with that person or I may come across that person regularly, but like, I don't know them, but we engage in this community, and it's like, I appreciate you, and we're all friends, you know what I'm saying? So like, I feel this connection and this bond from our nostalgia, from our love for Nintendo and games that I don't have for people right here at home. And that's the best part about these communities, whether you host a show, whether you just listen to shows and you're really active and engaging in that, and we play on each other online. I love that. And I view all you guys as just, you know, like brothers, like we're family. We are a legit family. When I'm not recording a show, it's not like I forget all about, you know, the community and everything. Like, I'd say this is on my mind almost all the time. The shows, the listeners. I feel weird calling them fans because it's not like I'm some big celebrity or anything. The listeners of the shows. We're all in this together, guys. And I know we kind of just went off for a random talk here, but I just felt like I need to say that. We appreciate you. We appreciate any comments and 5 stars maybe you've done, reviews for us and for our friends of other podcasts. We appreciate you if you've played online, if you're engaging in the communities. And guys, we know there's listeners out there that doesn't engage. And Ryan and I both strongly encourage you to jump in the community groups and start talking. And don't be scared to share your opinions. And people may, you know, grind each other sometimes. Like, trust me, everyone, I heard a bunch of trash back after my Mario World child comment last week.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's all good fun, and we can share our opinions, and we love each other, you know. So yeah, that's just where I'm coming from here. And
so Jacob, I need to ask you, and this is something that can help everyone out, not just me, but I've never been on another podcast other than this one. So what's it like? I know you have Nintendads coming up here. I'm going to be on We the Gamercast with Sean. So what can I expect? Like, any advice you can give to our listeners, whoever maybe want to be on a show? What's some good things you can throw our way?
Well, if you want to be on a show, I'd say mentally be prepared, I guess, because when you're on a show and you're talking, it can be overwhelming. It can be kind of scary. Like, oh, am I going to say the right thing, or am I going to say something stupid? Don't worry about if you're going to say something stupid. We all say something stupid.
I'm feeling that right now, man.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just be yourself. Like, guys, if you go back and hear Ryan and I's very first episode, we never aired it because it was that crappy. It was we were nervous, and even the first episode we launched, I think we clearly we did way better than our first one, but it was we were nervous, and I've gone back and listened to some old episodes a year ago, and just to hear the difference and how the quality sounds, what we sound like, how we were talking, and you just come natural at it. So again, the more you do it, the better you get. But if you're going to be a guest on a show, just ask, but have something to bring to the show. Don't ask because I would like to be on it, but ask, but because you really have something you want to say. And I mean, that's why we started this show. Was when I used to be just a listener. I listened to Nintendo Dads, and I listened to If We Were in Nintendo, and my podcasting list back then was like 2 or 3 shows, and as the community's grown, I've gotten involved. I've discovered all these other shows, like Strictly 64. If you guys haven't checked them out, by the way, it's a show all about the Nintendo 64. My favorite system of all time. That's pretty awesome. So go check them out if you haven't yet. But it's you just have something to say. That listening to these shows made me have a voice. I wanted to be on Nintendo Dad so bad. Or if we were in Nintendo and be like, no, what are you saying? What are you doing? No, that's a silly idea. Or this is how I feel. When Star Fox Zero came out and everyone was hating it, man, I wanted to be on a show so bad because I kept hearing everyone's rants and talks about it. And not that I'm saying I don't think Star Fox Zero is the greatest game ever. It clearly has issues. But I also was not in the field of this is trash. And I bought it and I played through it and I gave it a fair share, a fair shake. And back then, people were just writing it off just because of reviews. And boy, I wanted to say something so bad, but I couldn't. I didn't have a voice. But now we do. And guys, that if you want to be on a show, just ask. Just ask have an idea, have something you want to talk about. And just ask. And you know what? Some shows may say no. Some shows may say we need to reschedule down the road because, we are also like Ryan, Justin, who was on last week on Nintendo Dads. I scheduled Justin way back in March or April-ish. We schedule way in advance. We have Josh Brandt from Life of Gaming coming on in November. That's been scheduled all year long, guys. So, just reach out to us or whoever and just see what the hey can never hurt to ask. So yeah, that's we had a long talk about community. This is a good episode.
All right, let's get into the topic for the week. The episode today is on Tiny Toon Adventures Buster Bust Loose. Now, this game originally came out on the Super Nintendo and didn't make it any further than the Super Nintendo. It is a nostalgic game for me, but not for a lot of people. So we actually did have someone call into our hotline. So let's go ahead and get playing with that.
Hey, what's up, guys? It is Clay from Strictly 64. This is my second call now. Didn't really plan on calling this many times this close to each other, but anyway, I saw that you guys were going to be talking about Buster Bust Loose, which is actually a weird favorite of mine from back in the day. Have a lot of good memories playing it. Basically, my biggest nostalgia with it was that I remember this was probably one of the first if not the first game on the Super Nintendo that I was able to beat in one sitting. And so that it always kind of had a special place in my heart because I thought that was pretty cool that I could beat the whole thing, without having to play it multiple times or whatever. Granted, it was on easy mode, and I realized there's a more difficult mode that has more levels and things are more difficult. But regardless, I always thought that was super cool. There are some really fun levels. The football level is super fun. And obviously, the Star Wars level at the end, I always thought that was super cool as a kid. So, pretty fun game overall. I really like it and have a lot of nostalgia for it. So, excited to hear you guys' thoughts on it, and maybe I'll go home at some point this week and play it myself. Until then, cheers, guys.
Awesome, Clay. Thank you. Yeah, we share a lot of the same ideas on that game. Like, it was something that I grew up playing. It was at my grandma's house. For some reason, she had a copy of the game, and I'd take my Super Nintendo over there, and I'd play. And I just really enjoyed the charm of it. It's something. The characters were bigger models, and I really liked that. Like, I felt like I didn't feel like I was this tiny character, and it was hard to see or anything like that. Like, it was very, very, very large and very colorful.
Well, Ryan, looks like we got one more call, so let's go ahead and play it.
Yeah, hi guys. This is the Sega Kid, and I'm just wanting to call to chime in about the next episode about Buster Bust Loose, the Tiny Toon Adventures. I can't say that I'm surprised that you guys would bring up this inferior game on this inferior platform. Everyone knows that Tiny Toon's Buster Hidden Treasure on the Sega Genesis is a superior game to this one. It came out, first of all, before Buster Bust Loose, so you could say that Nintendo just copycatted from the Master System, Sega Genesis, and just made their inferior product. But I won't say that. And secondly, a lot of the platforming in Buster Bust Loose could be attributed to Buster's Hidden Treasure. And I think that is just a little silly that you guys would choose to talk about this game when there are obviously superior ports on superior systems. Good luck talking about this disgusting game. Good day.
Well, as we established on our last week's episode about Donkey Kong Country, Sega failed. Sega failed and fell to Nintendo in the consoles war, so there's not even an argument here. I mean, thank you for the call. I appreciate it, but it was a whole diss on my beloved Big N, and I just have to disagree with you. So, Ryan, don't even say anything on this one, man. Let's just get back to the topic at hand.
Jacob, do you have any experiences with this game?
Man, how many Tiny Toon Adventure games were on the SNES?
Oh, you got me there. I've only played this one. I heard that there was a wacky sports game, but I don't know about any others.
Okay, guys, I won't lie. I've never owned this game. Again, I didn't even have a SNES as a kid, so that probably contributed to that. But I only remember a little piece. I remember you're Buster, obviously, and then I was going to like the school, and you ended up getting to this point where I would always die here, and I just quit back in the day when I had it, or when I played it. I got to this Cock Diesel dog, man, and he had like Cock Diesel. If you don't know, it's a gym term or just basically really big and ripped and buff. This dog had shades on, and dude, he would roll me every time. So eventually I got to the point where I just gave up. I lost interest quick. So that's as far as I got. So it's probably like the first level.
I think there was like a Super Bowl party or something. You came over to my house and tried it out because I had borrowed it from my grandma's. And
I'm sure I played it with you. Seriously, I mean, I remember playing it at Daniel's, our good old friend Daniel Deputy. I think that's the first time we've ever said his name on the show, actually. But he had a Super Nintendo, and I remember him having the Tiny Toons adventure game, and I would play it this is like back in like middle school to high school, and I'd still die to that stupid dog. So I was just like, screw this. Other than that, man, that's it. Tiny Toons. I just remember the cartoon more than I do the actual game. Man, that's some 90s nostalgia. That's our era right there. So.
Yeah, Konami decided to release the game. It was August of 1993. I think it was like November or something like that. I got it much later than that, but it was a good experience. Like I said, I have no idea where the origin came from the game. My grandmother just had it. She would often go to yard sales and Goodwills and DAVs and all kinds of thrift shops and just like pick up the most random things. That's kind of one of the ones that she just kind of brought home one day, and she didn't have a Super Nintendo, but she had it. So I took my Super Nintendo over there and I played it. It was very strange, but it has a charm to this game that it's always stuck with my memory. And it's crazy because it's like people think like, oh, it's just, third-party license. It's crap game, but actually it wasn't that bad of a game. It was very incoherent. Like there was no real progression of the story. It was almost like living out and playing through an episode of Tiny Toon Adventures. You start out like you said in the school, and your goal is to just progress your way through the school and dodge like enemies like rats and the dog, like you said, and then you get to the end and there's a boss that you fight. That's I think it's Dizzy Devil. He's tearing apart the kitchen because he's hungry or something.
You have to like feed him food.
Yeah, you just gotta feed him.
That was kind of a weird mechanic there with the boss. Like it wasn't a traditional. That's one thing I did notice when I was reviewing this game was not all the boss fights are straightforward. Fight this boss, bop on his head, and you beat him. Like Dizzy Devil, like you said, you had to feed him food, and once you fed him enough food, you basically won. Or if you didn't, he'd beat the crap out of you, I guess. So.
And then after you beat that level, you're just kind of transported to like the Wild West.
Yeah, all the way out in the West.
It's like a Wild West movie. Like what? There was no real like vision for this game. It was just like an episode. Like, okay, next segment. Let's move on to the next place you're gonna go to. One thing I did when I played this game was I played it on easy, and I played it all the way through. And I remember it being very short. And I got to the very end, and it just kind of suddenly ended. And I'm like, okay, what? I didn't feel fulfilled when I played this game. And so I was like, well, I guess I'll try it again on a normal difficulty. And I started playing through, and I got to a part. And I'm like, I don't remember playing this part. This is completely different. This level was non-existent when I played through it the first time. And so, like, I was kind of mystified how I had completely forgot this whole segment of a level. I thought I was crazy. But I was like, okay, well, more to do, so I'll go and I'll play. And, it was all right. I don't think that I was very good at that time in my life. I think it took me several because of going over to my grandma's, took me several months to get past large portions of this game. I remember I finally got through the Western movie part, and I got to the horror area, the spooky mansion. Oh, I was hooked then. I loved that stage. Like, I was like, I don't even care if I die a million times. Like, as you play and you die and you conquer the level, like it becomes muscle memory and you could do it over and over and over again. So like the next one I got to was a spooky one. And that one's like, I didn't care how many times I had to start over on the game. I kept going back to that and trying to get to that spooky level. Loved it. Every bit of it. And I finally beat it. I celebrated. And the next level that it dumped me into was a football stage. Now, where did that come from? Why are we suddenly playing football here? And basically, it was a side-scrolling kind of auto run where Buster is dashing, and you have to jump and dodge with your football, trying to win the football game for the Acme University. And I didn't understand what football was. I remember asking. It was at a Super Bowl party. I think it might have been one of the ones that you were at, and you may not have been clued in on football at the time. But I asked, and I actually learned what football and how football works because this stage used elements from football. Because I'd like dash and I'd get tackled, and after a few times getting tackled, I lost the game, and I don't understand how or why. And so like, I learned about first downs, and then I tried applying that to the game, and it worked. And I'm like, oh, I suddenly get this. And I actually kind of real life / video game stuff learned piece by piece by experiencing it and also watching it, how football works. And that's how I know my knowledge about football today is from this silly Tiny Toons game.
Ryan, just like some interesting things that was really cool about this game, though, that I think that does make it unique. I have to say, first off, like you mentioned earlier in the show, that a lot of like third-party games, like if it's based off of a cartoon or a movie, like a Disney movie, they kind of get this bad rap of like they're cheap and they're kind of crappy-looking games, you know? Mm-hmm. I honestly have to think that I feel like we got more of that in the Nintendo 64 PlayStation days, but I think back when you had like the Super Nintendo days especially, I think the games were a lot better made. Like it was a lot different as in like the quality of the art that you played on.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot probably cheaper to make the cheaper the polygons for an N64 Toy Story game compared to just a 2D side-scrolling Toy Story game. Because like Toy Story on the SNES, I played that with you at your grandma and grandpa's, and that was fun. I remember being Woody jumping around with his lasso rope, and collecting star bit pieces. Like it was really fun. And it was very tough too. Like you think back the Disney games, like Aladdin, The Lion King, those games were not easy. Like they were hard platformers.
Yeah.
Like they were solid made games. So I think Tiny Toons falls right in line with that. It was really good and really cool. But what I think was unique was all the levels in the game, the stages. There's only 6 stages, like you said, but they are based off of episodes from the actual cartoon, which I thought was like really cool. Like, let's see here. For example, enemies that would be in a certain world were pulled from certain episodes. So you talk about Spook Mansion. The enemies here consist of ghosts, and from there, they were from like the Return of the Acme Acres Zone episode, the Boo Ha Ha. From wraparounds there's episodes like Stuff That Goes Bump in the Night, Evil Cakes. That was an episode from Tiny Toons, and those evil cakes appeared in that. So it wasn't like there was a consistent enemy in all the levels that you like. We have Goombas and we have Koopa Troopas and Mario Bros. Like they pulled specific enemies from specific different episodes in the real cartoon, which I think made it unique. The whole you just talked about the football episode. That whole game is based off of an entire episode for Tiny Toons called the Acme Bowl. That's the entire episode is based after. Is that? And I think back for the time as well, if you were a kid and you got this game and you really were like into Tiny Toons, it probably would have blown your mind. You're like, oh my gosh, like I remember this episode. I just watched it last week. Like this is so cool. And I'm playing the episode out of what this cartoon is like in game form. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I can just picture yourself being a kid and seeing something so surreal like that. Like, I think that, especially me, if I would have had it, I really think that would have blown me away. That's how I thought about the Ninja Turtles when I played a Ninja Turtle game. Like, I would find pieces and enemies like, oh, these guys were in the movie or these guys were in the cartoon and this happened in an episode of the Ninja Turtles and they put it in a game. So, yeah, I mean, I really think that this is some unique stuff here. that you don't that makes the game stand out?
And when I first played through the game, like I did on easy mode, when I went into normal mode, I finally got past this football level, and it got. Of course, each difficulty means you have more that you have to do in a level. The levels become longer. After you've beaten the football episode, you go on into kind of a sky episode, and you don't have a lot of enemies that you have to deal with. It's more just kind of the environment that you have to deal with. And it's kind of a breather because the football one is a pretty hard level. And then you have this kind of breather level before you're thrust into the final level. And this one just completely blew my mind because it was kind of a parody, which is much of the Tiny Toons stuff. It was a parody of like Star Wars. And that kind of theme is called space opera. And I remember just my face just lighting up when I found out that I'm going into this like futuristic Star Wars world, and I was like, yes, I got so hyped for that. And I was like, I just hope I don't die here. I want to see what happens at the end.
The fact that it was like all Star Wars, and if you knew if you were a Star Wars fan, this would blow you away. This is again based off of another episode. In a way, that's kind of like how like the Lego games are. You know, we get a Lego Star Wars version or Jurassic Park thing, and it's all in this Lego universe based off those. That's kind of what it reminds me of that, what this was back in the 90s before Legos took off in the gaming world, you know.
You got to face off against Duck Vader and rescue Babs, who had the Leia hairdo going on.
Yep. Totally, man.
It was a very fitting end to that game of just kind of hodgepodge episode feel. It's great nostalgia for me. I could say you can go back and play it on the Super Nintendo, try it out. You probably won't get what I'm talking about. It's probably going to be like super easy because I haven't even revisited it. But I know some of our listeners have a copy of the game still. So
they're all going to lose once they get to that cock diesel dog, man.
So I'd love to revisit this again when I get a Super Nintendo and just really jump into that world again. I watched some videos on it. It doesn't do it justice not to revisit those muscle memory things and the nostalgia there. Now,
don't worry. I'm sure we'll get some Tiny Toons Adventures bundle, and it will come to every system but the Switch. So,
our luck.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And Clay, Clay mentioned. Thanks for Clay for calling in. That's 2 weeks in a row, guys.
Yeah.
Clay, you're awesome. And guys, go check out his show, Strictly 64. Seriously, it's a great show. I like it. I love it, and I want some more of it. But it's Clay can relate to what we're saying here. Is like he's a '90s kid, and he grew up with the cartoon, and helped him get attached to this game. And Clay talked about just how awesome the space opera world was, what Ryan was talking about, and how he said he beat it in a day. How that means a lot to him. Well, I was looking it up. The game, I think, is only like an hour long total if you play it straight through, if you're really good at it, So again, was there a save system, Ryan? There wasn't, right?
I don't think so. I don't recall that because I think I had to start from the very beginning every time that I booted up the game.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah, I know. I don't think that there was. I think it was just you do a straight run through it and then that's it.
So Clay, that's very, very impressive, especially for the SNES. In a game like this, it wasn't easy. Like I said, I kept losing to the dumb dog in level 1. So, I mean, maybe I just suck, but that's impressive that you can beat a game like that without a save system in just one day straight through. So,
yeah. I did want to give honorable mention before we close out the show. Just the mini games that they had in this, like the in-betweens. They did some silly things. You had kind of like a game show feel. You had kind of bingo thrown in there. Kind of like you're looking for characters. It was called Babs Find Your Friends. Of course, Hungry Boy Hampton.
Yeah.
The pig. Yay. It's just, I don't know. It gave like your the same feeling as if you're watching an episode or playing through like a giant episode, maybe even a movie of it. And you didn't really have that Tiny Toons movie. So to be able to live that experience is something that maybe you watched as a child. That was a cool experience. So if you ever get a chance to try it out, pick it up. It's like $5 online and you have a Super Nintendo. Just something to pass the time and maybe relive those Tiny Toon memories.
Yeah, you had with the bonus games, it always went to a Wheel of Comedy. I do remember this. It was a Wheel O game, but it was based off of their episode, The Wheel O Comedy, from the series.
Okay.
And once you spun the wheel, it would select the mini games from either Sweetie Bird, Mystery Weight Challenge, aka Seesaw, Hampton J Pig, Hungry Boy Hampton, like you said, aka Junction, Plucky Ducks, Go Go Bingo, Furballs, Championship Squash, and Babs Finds Your Friends, aka Maze. So yeah, again, it's something unique. It pulled right from the show. I don't know if other games did this, Ryan, but like I think that's just kind of genius to just take episodes straight from and make a video game out of episodes instead of a lot of times like they'll take an adaptation of a game and they'll create their own story as one big game, but this just pulled bits and pieces from different episodes, and that's unique.
It did it well too. It wasn't just like kind of thrown together. Like it was themed to be an episode, and I really liked. Like I think when I think of this game, I think of the bonus level music. I don't know why that just always stuck with me. And then also, of course, the signature Tiny Toons opening song. Of course, that has to always be there. So it had a very like kind of epic music especially when you got to the Star Wars level, the space opera level too. Like some of the memories of the music was just charming. I wish I could just like play it for you right now and you could hear what I'm hearing in my ears, in my nostalgic ears here.
Totally.
Well, that brings us to the end of our episode. Thanks for joining us this week, Jacob. Where can they find us?
All right, everybody, you can find us at dayspace.com/Nintendo Nostalgia. And obviously, we're on iTunes and we're on Google Play. And if you are new to the show, welcome. If you've been listening or not, and you haven't really, I don't know, if you haven't left us a comment or 5-star rating, please do so. It really helps others find our show and makes it more easier for them to have access to us when someone types in Nintendo. I would love to see just our show pop up right away. So the more you help, the more it's going to help expand the community and make us grow. Guys, we are obviously on Facebook, Nintendo NOS, Twitter, Nintendo _NOS. We're on Instagram at NOSIN. We have an email, nintendonostalgia@gmail.com. And guys, we have a hotline. Clay has already called in 2 weeks in a row, and Clay, again, we're so thankful for that. Guys, this hotline is set up because we want to hear your nostalgia. We want to hear your thoughts on games or topics that we're bringing to the show. So spread the word. Encourage others to call in. We want to hear from you. I don't care if you call in every week. Clay, you can call in again next week if you want. It's just really cool to hear other people's thoughts and their own nostalgia. And guys, if there's hot dropping news, like if Nintendo just says, boom, Metroid Prime 4 is coming out this Christmas, boom, we surprised you. That would be so cool for you guys to call in right away and just leave your thoughts, leave your opinions, because we want to engage with that too. Again, like we talked about earlier, it's all about community. We love all of that, guys. And you can find me personally at on Twitter at Nintendo. At Nosh Jacob 73. That's where you can find me. Where can they find you, Ryan?
Since I'm getting involved with the community a little bit more and I want to get out there, you can find me at Metroid Hunter 101, at Metroid Hunter on Twitter. You can also find me on my Switch. You might see me with me in some matches and stuff. I'm Nos B Phoenix. Oftentimes I'll be like B Phoenix as well on other places. I believe I have a Sony account and a Microsoft account, but you can try adding me. But I don't know if I'll be on those systems anytime soon. I'm too busy with my Switch, as it should be.
He signed a form that he would never play those systems again when he decided to be a co-host for this show. So, Ryan, before we go, I think it's only right to continue to talk about what we've been pushing all month, and that is the Metroid Initiative.
The Metroid Initiative.
The Metroid Initiative. Everybody, what this is Ryan and I are strongly pushing and encouraging you to pay it forward. Obviously, buy yourself a copy of the game of Samus Returns. You can pre-order it right now. And then pay it forward by buying somebody else a copy. Someone who you think cannot afford it, or you think they wouldn't get it at all, but you think that you know they would enjoy this game. Like I have somebody in mind who has a 3DS, but I don't think they'd go buy this game. I legitimately don't. Not because they wouldn't want to. It's just because maybe they don't game a lot. Maybe they just don't have time for gaming. And if I bought them a sweet game, it helps give them a good time, and it helps boost the sales of Metroid. Because let's be honest, Metroid has got to sell well. If we want more Metroid games, more effort put into Metroid, and Metroid to get the Zelda treatment, I like to say, be treated just as equally as Zelda, she has to sell well. That series has got to sell better than it ever has. With Samus Returns, that's where it starts, and then it only goes from there. Ryan, you want to share any thoughts? I mean, Metroid's your baby, man. I know, like that's like your number one franchise of all time. Would you like to say a few words?
Totally worth it. They just released another video today for the game, and oh my goodness, I am so stoked. They are including some staples that have become part of the Metroid series with the edge grabbing. Of course, I'm really excited to have that element, and it is a new game. It's going to be reimagined similar to what Zero Mission was, which was a reimagining of the first one. This is just a reimagining of the second one. Please pick it up. It looks amazing. At first, I was kind of on the fence about the whole like combo system. Like, oh, am I just going to be countering all the time? But no, it's got a lot more depth than that. And just check it out. Definitely seriously consider getting this, not only for yourself, but someone else. Metroid could use the love, and we'd love to see Metroid become a bigger thing.
Yeah, and I want to make one thing clear here, too. The Metroid Initiative doesn't mean you have a window to buy it. Like, it doesn't mean you better pre-order 2 copies. It doesn't mean you need to buy somebody else's copy when the game first comes out. Like, guys, again, you don't have to do it. We would strongly encourage you to do it. Because everyone here at Nintendo Nostalgia, we put our money where our mouth is, and we're going to be doing it. And the game can be bought anytime. We just want the sales to be good. You know, if you want to buy someone this game at Christmas time, you know, it's like, oh, you know what? I really don't have a game for Jimmy or Sarah, whatever, you know. Like, I want to get them a copy of this game and just pay it forward. They don't even have to know it's you. That's the best part. Honestly, Ryan, you know that it's such a good feeling when, like, you can do something, you can bless somebody else, and they don't know it was you, and you don't have to tell them at all. Just so you can see a smile on their face, and you don't have to take the credit. Like, it's a humbling and awesome experience. If you've never done that, I challenge you to do that. Maybe especially this Christmas season, you know, just something fun to do. You know, help us grow as people here a little bit and experience something nice. So, well, Ryan, I mean, I've talked a lot, man, and you did. It's a good episode, man. Buster bust loose. Wow, y'all. You know what, guys? Whenever this comes to the Switch one day, we all better get it.
Are we going to tease next month?
I don't know what you're talking about, Ryan.
What are we doing next month?
Next month is September.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Okay.
What are we doing?
Never mind.
Oh, tell me. I don't know.
Let's just close out the show.
I mean, I'll edit all this out. What are we talking about?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
Nothing? What are you talking about?
We're good. As always, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being a part of our community. We love you guys.
Peace out. We'll see you next week.
Later.
I really don't know what you're talking about.